Welcome to the Beauty in Burnt Toast, the podcast where we celebrate the crispy, chaotic, unexpectedly beautiful parts of life. I'm Jade.
And I'm Jamie. We're two women doing our best to live with purpose, laugh through the mess, and talk about the stuff that no one puts on Instagram.
Here you'll find real stories, unfiltered conversations, and reminders that perfection is overrated, but showing up, that matters.
And whether you're building a business, raising humans, chasing healing, or just trying to remember what day it is, you belong here.
So pour the coffee, reheat the toast, and let's get into it. This is the Beauty in Burnt Toast. Welcome back to another episode of the Beauty in Burnt Toast. Today we're following along in the series about real estate, and I have with us Josh Trotter. This episode is called Confessions of a Home Inspector. So we're going to see what we can get out of this guy today.
Now I want some burnt toast with some grape jelly on it.
So he has been in crawl spaces, I'm sure in a few spider webs, some attics, some damp, dark places, seen some critters.
Took pictures of them.
Yeah?
I can document it.
Yeah, your Facebook is very interesting, that's for sure.
I could literally write a book on just items that I have seen and witnessed at home inspections.
Maybe you should. Are you taking notes?
One day, yeah, maybe one day.
So what is the strangest thing you have seen on a home inspection? Is that a hard one because there's so many?
There's so many. Like, where do I start? First of all, let me just tell you a little bit about me.
Okay.
So, my name is Josh Trotter. I own Pro Home Inspection Services. I've been a home inspector 8-9 years. Do a lot of things. I have a state of Alabama home builder's license, radon license. Oh, just the list goes on and
All
on.
the licenses.
Yeah, I've got everything you could think of and use half of them.
So you must be a great test taker.
I actually kind of flip out with tests, but I pass them. Oh, man, you talking about sweating? Like, woo. Oh, I will sweat when you sit me down for a test. It's
So you
just,
have test anxiety, but you're very smart.
well, I don't know about the smart part, but I've done good. So I give all of my credit to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the credit, other than the all of it, goes to my wife and my kids. And I have a wife. We've been married 24 years. Got 2 kids. I got one in college and one is a freshman in high school. And 2 dogs that are spoiled, rotten. And do home inspections. And what is the craziest thing that I have seen? You want
A critter?
You want to go? You want to go scary, or you want to go? So walked in a house. Let's go scary. Walked in a house in Huntsville, Alabama. This place is. This subdivision has actually been hit 3 times by tornadoes since I was born. I knew where I was going. Got there, and the moment the house was vacant, moment I pulled in the driveway, just did not have a good feeling. And went to the front door, opened up the lockbox, opened the door, and it was like just a feeling came over me as I walked through the front door.
Yeah.
The house was vacant. So in true Josh Trotter fashion, I started speaking against it, and I pulled out my cell phone and pulled up YouTube and started playing praise and worship music while I was walking through the house, and just honestly was just praying over this house. And walked to the very back bedroom, and there was handprints all over the wall in blood, and somebody had drew a what do they call it, pictogram or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And man, you talking about pleading the blood of Jesus over
Was it
that
real
house.
blood?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was an animal's blood, but I contacted the listing agent and sent her some pictures, and she was like, her response was, "Please tell me you're not at this house." And I said, "I am," and but that was probably the weirdest experience I've had.
Was there any other like witchcraft type items or anything like that in the house?
Not really. There was candles everywhere.
Oh,
So
yeah, well, they're...
it turns out, she told me later on that the back door had been kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking somebody just broke in, was doing that. But that, you said the weirdest, and that was like the weirdest.
No,
but,
thank you.
as far as animals in the crawl space,
The list goes on and on.
oh man, I was in Coleman, Alabama one day doing an inspection, got in the crawl space, and what I typically do is when I get in the crawl space, I'll sit at the entrance there for 30, 40 seconds, and I'm shining the light, looking. I'm mainly listening for like water dripping or any movement, or as with the flashlight, I'm looking for animals' eyes looking back at me. And in the very far back corner, there was a black cat. And so I thought, okay, cool. In my mind, I'm thinking, there's a black cat in here, not a problem. I can don't have to worry about snakes or mice or whatever, because the cat's done ate them all. And so hung a right, followed the CMU block foundation wall, got about 40 feet from that black cat, and that black cat turned and it had a big white streak down its back.
Oh, gosh.
So I just snapped a picture of it and just kind of went out the same way I came in. And I had to put on the report that the crawl space was only like 60% inspected.
Have you ever been sprayed?
I have not.
Okay,
Not on a
that's
home
good.
inspection.
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever been bit or
I
attacked?
I have experienced spider bites multiple times. I was in Killen, Alabama one day and looked down, and I just felt something on me, and I looked down, and this is no exaggeration, I had 500 plus fleas on me. And so there's actually a funny part to that story. So when I got there and went in the crawl space, the house was vacant, but nobody was present. I come out of the crawl space, I take my coveralls off, take my shirt off, and I still have fleas on me. So it's out in the country, there's nobody there. I strip down to my socks and my boxers. And like, I'm shaking all these clothes off, and I walk around the corner of the house to take my boots and my coveralls, and I'm there in my socks and boxers, and I turn the corner, and there's the realtor and the buyers. And I'm like, hey y'all, how y'all doing?
What did they say?
They were just kind of wondering. The bad news is that realtor never called me back again.
What kind of home inspection?
I know. But yeah, so those are some weird things. I do have one more. I was actually telling this story this week. I was in an attic. A lot of people don't realize this, but depending on time of year, you're more apt to see a snake in an attic before you'll ever see one in a crawl space. They like the dry heat. They thrive on that.
What's the best way to keep that from happening? Is there a way to keep that from happening?
Yes. So overhanging trees.
So trimming the limbs.
Okay. Make sure there's nothing overhanging the roof, because snakes will crawl up trees and then drop on your roof and go in wherever they can. Sealing any penetrations of where condensate lines or where the HVAC goes into the home. Anywhere you can seal off and make it airtight, you're restricting access to insects and rodents and snakes and whatever. But I'm in this attic, and the attic from the ceiling joist to the OSB board, it was probably maybe 4 foot. So you couldn't stand up. I literally had on knee pads and I was walking the ceiling joist with my hands and my knees. And I crawled all the way to the other side of the house and looking from left, right, looking to see if there's, any damage or anything. I turned around to go back to the entrance where I came in at. And when I did, I saw about a 6 or 7 foot long snake stretched across. I had just crawled right over it. Now, it was a non-poisonous. It was like a rat snake. But I went back towards it and I got about 6 or 8 feet from it. And I didn't want to crawl back over it. So I'm looking around and I'm picking up insulation, throwing it like, go on. And it wasn't moving. So I took my flashlight and I started hitting the wood, making a loud noise. And when I did, it raised its head and it looked at me. And then it laid back down and it went on out of my way and I got out of there.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, you'll see a snake in an attic way before you'll see one in a crawl space.
So lots of snakes, lots of bugs.
Yep.
Anything unusual you've ever seen? Like maybe an animal you weren't expecting.
I saw a monkey one time, but it was in a cage.
Okay.
And it had a diaper on.
Under the house?
No, the owners
was
had a
that
monkey.
in Hartselle?
No, that was actually in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Okay, I was fixing to say I have met a monkey in Hartselle before.
I know a guy that lives in Hartselle that has a monkey.
Yeah.
But let's see. I think that's about the extent. Now, for a long time, I did something on Facebook. It was called the Doogies of the Week. So let me give a little story here. So when my daughter, who's now in college, when she was 3 or 4 years old, we love dogs. And every time we would see a dog, she'd say, "Daddy, there's a doogie." So at our house, dogs are called doogies. So when I first started doing home inspections, I would take pictures of the dogs that were at the inspection. And that night, when we were sitting on the couch with the family or whatever, we'd scroll through all the pictures. I said, "Look at this dog, look at this dog." And so one of my relatives told me, he said, "Man, you should put all those on Facebook." And I thought, no, I can't put pictures of other people's dogs on Facebook. And so I got to thinking about it. I was like, well,
Why not?
nobody knows where these dogs are.
Yeah.
I'm not giving any personal private information out. So I started on Saturday evenings doing a post. It was called Home Inspection Doogies of the Week. And they would be 10, 12, 15 pictures of dogs on there. And sometimes I would see goats and donkeys, and I even put cows on there one time. But it was so crazy because the stuff that I would put on Facebook, you get 15, 20 likes. Every Saturday, I would get like 90 and 100 likes on this one
People
post.
love animals.
And I got away from that for a long time. And what was so weird is I've done quite a bit of realtors luncheons, different agencies. And I was in Madison one day and doing a luncheon, and I'm standing up there and I'm talking to all these realtors. There's probably 60 or 70 people in there. And I see all these realtors, they keep looking at one another and they're like, and so I'm standing up there talking to them and I'm like, I'm checking my zipper. I'm like, what is going on, And I gave my little spiel about home inspections. And I got to the end and I said, is there any questions maybe I could answer for y'all? And this one lady raised her hand. She said, "Yeah, are you the home inspection doogies of the week guy?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And then everybody in there was like, yeah, that's what they were talking about, like between themselves. So I guess I made myself North Alabama famous.
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of great in this business, just being known,
I know.
even if it's for something silly?
I know. It's crazy.
You know, my son used to say, "Mommy, look at that booty." Birdie.
Bird.
I was like, what? What?
Careful when you say that.
I know, right?
Don't say that in line at Walmart.
Kids. Yeah, I know. So, okay, let's get into some more crazy things. What is something that buyers panic over that they shouldn't?
Step cracking in the brick and mortar. And let me tell you why. Our soil here in North Alabama, and I tell buyers this all the time, there's not a brick house in North Alabama, whether it be a year old or 100 years old, that if you give me enough time, I can find step cracking in the brick and mortar. Houses settle. Now, with that said, the extent of the crack, can you fit your fingers in it? My rule of thumb, and this is just my rule of thumb, if you can't stick your fingers in it, or especially if you can't stick a nickel in it, it's just natural. Concrete's going to crack.
Yeah.
As a home inspector, now you have to play both sides, because you have to make the buyers aware of the situation, but at the same time, you don't want to alarm them. My house as well. I'm the home inspector, and I have step cracking in my house. Am I going to do anything about it? No. Just this week, I was standing there talking with a buyer, and I told him, I said, well, you've got some step cracking right here on this side of the house. And he said, well, that's foundation. And I said, potentially, but here's the thing. We don't know how long the step cracking's been there. Is it still in progress? Has it been that way for 20 years and it's done all it's going to do? I said, we don't know. I said, there's actually more than likely not a brick house on this road that doesn't have step cracking. And when I said that, we turned around, and the very house beside it had the same step cracking. And I told him, I said, look at the neighbor's house. And so we went on about the inspection. Well, 20 minutes later, the neighbor was out getting his mail, and he waved at us, and I said, hey, come here a minute. And he walked over there, and I said, kind of a weird question, but you ever notice the step cracking? And the guy said, I built this house 17 years ago. He said that step cracking's been there 16 of the 17 years.
Gosh.
And so I turned to the buyer, the client, and I said, see, now it's my job to make you aware of this item, but take it for what it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the word in my experience that people freak out over is foundation.
yeah.
And I think it's just people being uneducated. Like I've even had something come back on the foundation before, and the people walked away. They didn't give a chance to check it or anything.
Right.
We had it checked, and I sent them the report,
Yep.
and they came back. So not all home inspectors are created equally, first of all. And second of all, just because you have a home inspector, they know most of the things, but you need the person that is their specialty to come out and confirm what is going on.
Exactly.
And again, I mean, it's okay to panic, but get your education before you make a decision.
That's right. And so a lot of people, there is what people think home inspectors do, and then there's the reality of what home inspectors do. As a home inspector, it is my job to go and point out all the negative of a house, either a problem or a potential problem. Now, I tell people all the time, what this information that I'm giving you Number one, just because I'm telling you this doesn't mean it has to be fixed. It doesn't mean anybody's going to fix it. Doesn't mean anybody's going to give you a credit or give you cash for having. It is my job just to point it out and bring it to everybody's attention. You know, the second part of that is when we bring items to attention, it is not to alarm you and upset you. It's to say, hey, there's a little something going on here. If you want to call so-and-so and let them look at it and just firmly tell you, hey, it's fine. We can fix it for it's our job as home inspectors to point it out. And then, it's like, this sounds so crazy. Everybody knows about insurance, and standards of practice and regulations. Our hands as home inspectors are so tied that, like, to the point of there are certain words we cannot say. I can't say in a report the word mold. I know it's mold. You know it's mold. The seller knows it's mold. I can't say the word mold. I have to put in the report that there is the potential. There is an item that has potential to be microbial growth. I know it's mold, but I can't legally say that. And the reason for that is in the state of Alabama, there's certain people that hold the credentials for that, and they're the only ones that are legally able to test it and verify. Let me think of another one. Asbestos. I can say that the home has a material that resembles what other asbestos items look like, but it hasn't been tested. So you have to be super careful in your wording, and it's not only for the buyer, but it's for the realtor. I'm gonna switch this just a little bit too. So it is my job not only to inform the client, but it's my job to protect you as the realtor. Whether you know it or not, anytime somebody is sued over a piece of property, guess what? They're going to include the realtor in that. They're going to include the home inspector, the realtor, the sellers. They're going to throw darts and just see which one sticks. Yeah. So it's not my intentions to go out and just be Mr. Bad Home Inspector. It's my intention not only to be informative, but to protect my client, you, your broker, even the seller. It's unfortunately, and this is sad to say, but in just about every home inspection, and it took me a long time to get used to this, if there's two parties, 50% and 50%, just about every inspection, one set of that 50% is not going to like you in the end. What can you do?
Well, and so let me go back to what I said about all home inspectors are not created equally. I say that in meaning that not that they can't do their job, but that not everyone knows how to explain and word and have that education aspect of things. And I think that that is something that people don't know. Like sometimes you guys are definitely not appraisers. Like there's a lot more communication that happens there. Like if I get a home inspection and my client has questions, what am I going to tell them to do?
Call the home inspector.
Yes.
Yep.
Call the home inspector.
That's right.
I'm not going to answer them, or I'm going to say, hey, let's call an HVAC specialist, a roofer, let's call it this and that. Like, they need to get a further explanation.
Yep.
Like, you can't have somebody just say, hey, like, this is going on in the foundation, and your people are like freaking out and just, I don't know, what do you want to do about it? Like, I mean, just leave it open-ended. Like, you need to give them direction from a professional.
It's funny because I can't believe I signed up for home inspections. If I'd have known what I know now, I'd leave my house every morning at 6:30, and in some way, shape, or fashion, I am dealing with construction, home inspections, footing all day long. Mm-hmm. And I leave the house at 6:30 in the morning, normally home by 6 o'clock in the evening. What a lot of people don't realize is when I get home, my day's not done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why, because I sit there from 6 to 8 o'clock at night doing the reports mm-hmm. and sending them out. Well, guess what? At 8:30, the phone starts ringing. Mm-hmm. It's the realtors and the buyers. Mm-hmm. And so...
Do you put your phone on silent at any point?
No.
Do not disturb?
No. Well... it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because I actually put my phone on vibrate, or I leave it in the truck when I'm at an inspection.
Okay.
That just infuriates my wife. But I do that for a reason. And think about it this way. If you have paid me to inspect the house that you're potentially buying,
then the house needs your full attention.
Needs my full attention. You don't want people from 2 days ago calling every 10 minutes asking me questions when I'm trying to figure out your house. Now, when I get in my truck to leave that inspection, yeah, there's always 6 or 7 missed calls and about 10 or 12 text messages.
Yeah.
But if I have a 30-minute or an hour drive to the next inspection, the whole time it's on speakerphone and I'm talking to somebody, hey, I missed your call. Or, I have my voicemail set up to where it says something to the effect of, hey, I'm probably busy at the moment. If you're interested in a home inspection, please shoot me a text with your information. I promise you, I will get back with you. And I do. If it takes me till 10 o'clock at night, I call everybody back. Now, it might take me 30, 40 minutes to get through with an inspection to be able to call them back. But in doing so, I can focus on what I've been paid to do. Mm-hmm. And some people understand that, some don't. But I would feel like I'm cheating my clients if I was distracted. Mm-hmm. So.
No, I totally get that. And I feel like, assuming you feel the same way, but when it comes to a home inspection, no question is a dumb question.
No, not at all.
How I feel. And like, I have used you a lot in the past just because I feel comfortable asking you dumb questions, because,
it's fine.
It's not my profession. Like, I don't know that. And, we're like y'all, people assume that we are just all the things. There are things we don't know.
Right.
A lot of things we don't know.
There's a lot of days that I don't know some things. I'll be the first to tell you, we have nationwide, there is a closed Facebook page for home inspectors. Mm-hmm.
But a lot of interesting stories on that
one. A lot of good stories. But I have found, and I have done this multiple times over the years, I'll take a picture of something and I'll put on that Facebook page, hey guys, can anybody help me with this? And post it. And then I'll go about the rest of the inspection. Mm-hmm. I'll come back later. There's 30 people, 40 people that's answered me like, hey man, you're looking at this. Be careful with this. If it has this, you need to also be looking for this. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's very helpful.
Yeah, I know it now, but it's there as a resource because, all right, if you call an electrician, he's going to know about electricity. Mm-hmm. If you call a plumber, he's going to know about plumbing. As a home inspector, we have to know
all the things.
A lot. Yeah. And I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of things with certain items that you look at sometimes and you're like, whoa, what am I looking at? Is it right? Is it wrong? Do they allow this? So we have to do our research so that when we sit home at night and do the report, we're not scaring everybody.
Yeah.
Or if it is wrong, you have a little bit of knowledge about it to say, hey, this does not appear to be right. You might want to have an electrician further evaluate this.
All right. What is one thing that you secretly dread finding during a home inspection?
All right, I'm going to say a couple things here. If you are the seller, pick your dirty drawers up
Oh, God.
before you have a home inspection.
No, I have kicked dirty clothes under a bed before. I have put laundry baskets in a bathtub. Listen, I had a house, I'm not going to say who this is because they would probably kill me, that I had to go to their house, and I love them, so I did it for them, for showings, and get their cat and drive away with their cat and hide their litter box because they didn't want people to know.
I'm going to bunch all this into one. So most of the time when people think home inspectors, they think, oh, he's there to kill the deal. He's there to just, put his... I don't want to be Mr. Negative Nanny. I want to...
So just misconception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be able to point out things and let's talk about it rationally.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. The house that you're probably living in now probably has those same items. My house included. Just this past year, guess what? My shower pan for our main bathroom pouring water in the crawl space.
No.
It's just part of owning
It
a
happens,
home.
yeah.
I think communication, I know of another gentleman. He's not in North Alabama. He's South Alabama, but he's a home inspector. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I hope you don't watch this or see this. But his personalized tag is deal killer. No, here's the thing.
Does he do a lot of business?
Kinda, sorta, but I'm like, that's the wrong concept to have. You're here to help people.
Dream fulfiller.
Dream fulfiller. Yes. I remember years ago when I first got into this business, my mother, who's passed on now, she told me, she said, oh, baby, she said, you're not going to make a good home inspector. What?
Because you were too nice?
My mother just told me I wasn't going to make a good home. She said, you smile too much and you're, and I'm like, well, Mom, this is what I want to do.
But you're personable.
I know.
Yeah.
You got to be careful of that, but to one extent, you have to list the items, but to the other extent, majority, 90% of everything you find is fixable and fixable within reason.
Yeah.
What do I dread? Oh, man. I got a story for you. So...
I think you have a lot of stories.
Oh my God! I'm telling you, I could write a book on this. So, I am at a home inspection one day, and it was and granted, he could have worked third shift. I don't know, but I knocked on the door. He was the seller, which typically, I will say this, typically the sellers do not stay. Oh God, I can get in more detail on that. But this gentleman, he opened the door for me. I started doing the inspection on the outside, tapped on the door to go back inside. He didn't answer the door. Well, I just opened the door. I said, hello, I'm coming in, and didn't hear from him. Started doing the inspection, went to the main bedroom and opened the door. He's in there asleep. I'm like, Well, and I mean, he's out. Out. The windows are blacked over. I mean, and he could have worked third shift, granted. But I tiptoed around in there and was looking, testing the receptacles or whatever. But
It was awkward.
it was very
Yeah.
awkward. Yeah. All right, one more story, and I'm going to let you go on whatever you can ask me. I read over some of the questions.
Yeah.
I had one house. I had one house that I inspected 4 times in a summer.
Different deals?
Different deals.
Yeah.
So, first 2 times, did the inspections. People didn't buy it. Third time, I got called to do the inspection. I'm talking back to back, like week after week after week after week. Third time, I'm going to the inspection, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe the sellers have fixed. Let's think positive here. Maybe the sellers have fixed it.
Learn their lesson.
You know, let's just think positive. Well, I get there, and the sellers are there. And he says, I'm going to be here with you today to walk with you. And I said, no, sir. I said, you're not. I said, if you were the client, I would probably let you. I said, but you're the seller. You're not staying. Anyway, so he left. Those people, the third people, did not buy the house. Fast forward 2 weeks, I get another call to go do a home inspection. I put it on the schedule. The next day, the listing agent calls me and she says, hey, go ahead and cancel that. And I said, why is that? She said, well, you've already killed the deal for them 3 times. They're not going to make it 4. And I said, ma'am, I haven't killed this deal. I said, there's legitimate things with this house. And I said, honestly, by the 3rd time I inspected, I would have thought that the minor things they would have at least tackled.
For real.
And she said, well, just go ahead and cancel it. So I did. Well, I called the agent and the buyers, and I explained to them, I said, look, I've already inspected this house 3 times. They don't want me to, the sellers don't want me to come back. And the buyer said, well, if they don't want you to do it, we're not buying it. And I said, well, sir, listen, find you another home inspector. If that's the house you want, go through with it.
Yeah.
Go through the inspection process. He said, no. He said, I want you to do it. And if they won't let you do it, I'm not buying the house. And so I shouldn't joke about this, but the deal didn't go through 4 times, and the 4th time I didn't even show up. So,
Oh my gosh.
that's horrible.
Did it ever sell? Do
It
you know?
did.
It did?
It
Okay.
did.
You didn't do the 5th inspection.
I did not do the 5th inspection. But, sometimes, and you really just wanted to tell the sellers, like, look, y'all, if you add all of these items up, you're at $4,000 to fix everything.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah, simple stuff. Simple. Like, literally, I can't. I mean, I wouldn't, but literally, I could have took a half a day of my own on a Saturday and fixed that house for them. Super simple, which you're not supposed to do this, but so sometimes if you see an item, it takes less time to fix it while you're there than it does to have to
Tighten the light bulb.
Yeah, than it does to
Yeah.
have to sit there an hour and a half and put it on the report. If it's, be logical about things.
Make sure your light bulbs are working before the home inspector comes. I feel like that's such a big one. Every time I see that, I'm like, seriously?
Yep.
Like, seriously.
See it all the time.
Okay, so let's go into a very important part of the Beauty and Burnt Toast. We always ask for people to provide a burnt toast moment. So something that you've been through that might have been kind of crappy in the moment, but you learned from in the end. Could be recent, could be a long time ago.
Okay. one of my kids was a toddler. We were sitting at Longhorn Steakhouse.
Oh, it made me hungry. I haven't had dinner.
And my toddler was acting like a toddler. And I'm a young, early 20s year old dad. My toddler was acting crazy.
Like a toddler.
Like a toddler, screaming, throwing, just knocking things off. She knocked a drink off. Well, being a young dad that was impatient, I grabbed her hand and just, and just made her cry even more.
Yeah.
Right behind us was an elderly couple, probably in their 70s, and they're watching the whole thing. And I get through making a royal jerk of myself, trying to discipline my toddler. And as I turn around, my elbow knocks my drink over.
Oh, no.
And the little lady over there, elderly lady, was buttering her toast. And I'll never forget, she looked at me and she said, "Who's going to spank your hand?"
Oh, no.
That's my burnt toast moment.
Wow. That is one for the books.
Patience.
Wow.
It's a learned.
It's hard.
It really
Yeah.
is. Even now, there's things, as an adult, I'm like, okay, breathe. Let's think this through before we just act or speak or say something we shouldn't say.
Yeah.
I think if everybody would pause for a minute before they just blurt out something, and I'm only saying that from somebody who's done it. Calm down. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is one huge thing that I have learned even in just the past year. I have a friend that is very good about not responding in the moment, like sleep on it,
Yep.
wait till the next day.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't even have to respond.
Exactly.
And that's hard sometimes, but
Yep.
it's also, boundaries. That's another thing. That could be a whole nother podcast.
My granddad told me one time, he said, "Son," he said, "the most intelligent, sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the quietest."
Taking it all in.
Know when to speak.
The best real estate transactions are with people that we work together
Yes.
to get the job done.
Yes. And there's nothing that cannot be talked
Yes.
out.
Yes.
I tell my clients all the time, before you say no to this house, you and your realtor talk with the sellers. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I'll even go a step further. In some instances, the sellers might not even know any of this stuff is wrong with their house. Talk to them. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many times the seller will say, "I didn't know that. Let's get this fixed." Don't make a rash, quick, "We're not buying this house." Talk, conversation, get it out in the open. You know what? You might not buy the house, but you could very well. I have also seen people out and about, talk to them, and they're like, "Man, you're not going to believe this. The sellers fixed everything on the report."
Well, and there's more than one way to work it out, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's
That's right.
lots of options.
Yep. Trading closing cost.
Yeah. Again,
Possibilities are endless.
education, just
That's right.
knowing what your options are.
That also is why it's so important to have a knowledgeable, well-rounded, calm realtor.
Can we use the word calm and realtor in the same sentence? I feel like it's very hard. Calm
Well,
face and then go home and scream.
oh gosh. You know, your realtor, just like a home inspector, can make or break a deal.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Have a realtor that's willing to go to bat for you and do the dirty work of talking with the other agent. Because here's the deal. This is kind of odd, but when I go to a home inspection, I tell people all the time, you've already paid me for this. I have no reason to lie to you. I have no reason to make up something about this house.
Yeah.
I have no reason to not put something on the report.
What's the point?
I've already been paid.
Yeah.
So be polite and courteous to your realtor, because at the end of the day, let's be honest. We all have utility bills. We all have carpet. We're all just trying to survive and make a living. I'm not getting rich off of this. There are days that I get up and I make it to the first house that I'm going to inspect, and I open that crawl space door and I'm like, oh man, I got to do this all day today. It's just, but at the end of the day, I know that I've got bills to pay. I've got a daughter in college. I've got things, I've got responsibilities. So I hope I've answered some of your questions halfway
So
right.
I want to go into this real quick.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, this is going to be quick.
Yes.
Okay. Crawl space or attic?
I prefer. Can I answer that in two answers?
Sure.
Attic in the winter, crawl space in the summer.
Feeling it was going to be something like that. Okay. Spiders or snakes?
I'm not scared of either.
Okay. What about cockroaches?
Don't
That's
bother
my
me.
biggest
Yep.
fear is cockroaches.
Oh, I got to tell you something. Maybe
I
I
wanna
shouldn't tell you
hear
this.
it.
Maybe I shouldn't tell you this. Mr. Realtor, if you're listening to this, again, I apologize for doing this. I'm in a house in between Hartsland and Decatur, and I'm in a crawl space. House is vacant. The realtor is there with the buyers. I'm in the crawl space, and there is a rat snake. Well, I pick up the rat snake. It's 3.5 foot long. I'm going to take it out of the crawl space. So I pick it up, it has this little head right here. Well, it wraps around my arm. I'm crawling out of the crawl space. I get out of the crawl space opening, and I stand up in the backyard, and I've got this snake wrapped around my hand. And I turn around, and there is the windows to the living room, and everybody's standing there, and I've got a snake. And the lady who's buying the house just starts screaming. And I'm just like waving at them. And I go to the edge of the yard, and I get the snake loose, and I throw it out in the woods. And the realtor later that day, he called me. He's like, Josh, I trust you. Yes, sir. I love you. You're a good guy. Yes, sir. But if you ever pull a snake out in front of our clients again, I will never use you again. I was like, sorry. The good news is I got the snake out of there for
Did
him.
it bother her that much?
Oh, she flipped out. Like, she ended up buying the house, but she flipped out. And of course, I would never say this to her, but I'm like, ma'am, you're moving to the country. You're not.
Well, and snakes can be removed. Like
Easy.
cockroaches
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
sprayed,
Yep.
I mean, to each their own. Okay. Old house or new construction?
I love the materials used in old houses. New construction, see them every day, have no problem with them. For me, as a personal,
Yes.
they all just kind of vanilla run together.
Yeah.
Old houses,
More character.
you're going to have more work and upkeep with an older house, but the character's there. Yeah.
Okay. Haunted house or hoarder house?
Been in both. I told you about the haunted one. Hoarder house, I've been in at least 3 of those. Truth be told, other than the outside and the crawl space in the roof, I felt like the clients wasted their money because you couldn't see anything. Actually, one of them, I told the people, I said, look, I said, when all this is out, if I need to come back, I can.
Yeah.
I would go with hoarder just because I don't want to be in a haunted house.
Moldy basement or mystery fridge?
In both. Moldy basement. Okay, let's talk that real quick. Mold, even though I can't say it on a report, microbial growth, potentially microbial growth. Mold is not there for no reason. It's there because there is a humidity and a moisture problem.
Yes.
You take care of those two, humidity or moisture problem, the mold may still be there. A lot of people flip out on this. Google this for yourself. You take a spray bottle with bleach and water and vinegar, I think it is. Shake it up, spray it on it. You can wipe it off with a paper towel. If the humidity and the moisture problem is fixed, the mold will not come back.
Yes. Yeah.
Mold is easy. People like flip out on mold is easy. Now, where it becomes a problem is if it has gotten into the wall cavity.
Yes.
So, what was the other one?
Mystery fridge.
Mystery fridge. Oh, okay. I actually will tell you, I kind of get a kick out of open refrigerators
I do not.
on houses that have been vacant for a year.
Mistake.
I have multiple pictures of refrigerators, and it stinks. It stinks.
The meat.
Oh, let me throw this out there too. As home inspectors, we don't take bribes. But I will say there has been multiple times that the sellers have left homemade cookies with a note for the home inspector. It says,
Can't say no to
it
that.
says, please enjoy, and there is a bottle of water unopened in the refrigerator. That is the most welcoming. I'm like, yes, I will not turn down your chocolate chip cookie. I just won't. So it's not a bribe.
But the bottle of water is not in a mystery fridge.
No, it's not. No.
It's it's not really the fridge, it's the freezers that I have
Yep.
experienced.
Yep.
People leaving deer,
Oh,
a whole deer, like I don't even know what it is anymore. There's stuff that shouldn't be in there.
one more story, or do you not?
Sure, go ahead. I can pick and choose.
This is the most. This was the most eye-opening, and this truly, really happened. I do an inspection, and the buyers are there. This is pre-2020. It's just me and the buyers. Do the home inspection. I'm doing the outside of the house. I open the front door for them. They go in. I do the crawl space. I do the garage. I do the attic. And then I go in. Talk about them about the house. We lock it up. We all leave at the same time. 2 days later, maybe the next day. It was 2 days later. I'm headed to Florence, Alabama, 7:30 in the morning to go do a day of home inspections, and a local municipality police department calls my cell phone. And they said, is this Mr. Trotter, the home inspector? And I said, it is. Do you have time to come by the office? I said, well, I'm headed to Florence. And they said, well, we need to talk to you. said, okay. Well, first house I was going to do in Florence was vacant. So I turned around and went back to this municipality, walked into the investigator's office, and he said, did you do this house on this day, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah. He said, was anybody else there? And I said, yeah, the buyers were there. He said, well, we have 30 plus missing hydrocodone pills out of this house. I said, sir, I didn't take anything. I don't ever take anything other than a fresh baked chocolate chip cookie. No. And he said, I believe you. I said, no, where's the lie detector test? Please, so I told him, I said, sir, listen, will you put me in your patrol car and take me to the hospital and give me a drug test? I will pay for it. I don't do drugs. I don't take Advil.
Yeah.
I don't take, And he told me, he said, look, I've already done my research on you. You've never been arrested. You've never had any drug offenses. Yeah. And he said, I've already done my homework. He said, I just had to interview you. He said, but I will tell you that the people that are buying that house potentially have been arrested 3, maybe 4 times for narcotics. He said, would you be willing to give a statement that they were in the house by themselves? And I said, yes, sir. And I did. That changed my view. I left there and went to Florence, and the whole way there I'm thinking, what would I have done if the guy hadn't believed me? My reputation, my business, it would have been all over the news. Local home inspector gets arrested for stealing pain medication. How do you bounce back from that?
Yeah.
And I don't know why I told you that, but yeah.
Well, so it all goes back to integrity. Like, you conduct your career with integrity, like trying to do what's right.
Yep.
And it always comes back in the end, if you do what's right. And part of this podcast is, we always want to point everyone back to the Lord.
Yes.
And our faith. And I know you are a believer.
Yes.
So I want to ask, is there a verse that has gotten you through life that you just turn to every time?
Sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis. I like to quote the Jabez prayer. And it says, my favorite part on it is, Lord, that I may not cause pain to anybody today. I don't want to ever be a thorn in somebody's side. I don't want to ever be the reason why somebody doesn't follow or accept Christ. I don't want anybody to ever point their finger and say, well, I'm not going to church because Josh Trotter, he claims to be a Christian.
100%.
I don't ever want that. I'll leave you with this. So I tell people all the time, I live here locally, North Alabama. I go all over the place. I walk into all kinds of restaurants, Walmarts, church, gas stations. To this day, I have never had to hold my head down because I saw somebody that I did a home inspection for. And I'm not going to start. If you do it with honesty, integrity, treat people the way you want to be treated. Are there going to be some bad houses? Yes. I can't help that.
Yeah.
But you just love on people. Walk them through it. Talk them through it. I literally have clients that I have inspected everybody in their family's house because they keep referring me. I have people call me every week. Hey, so-and-so gave me your number. You did a home inspection for them 4 years ago. I'm like, I don't even know who they're talking about. I'm
But
like,
that's the best feeling, isn't it?
yeah. Am I human? Absolutely. Am I going to fail you at some point? Yeah. But it's not going to be on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who I am.
Yeah.
So
And that's his story, and he's sticking to
I'm
it.
sticking to it.
Josh, thank you so much for joining
Absolutely.
us and sharing the crazy, scary, interesting stories that you've experienced as a home inspector. I hope that one day that you will write that book, because I think it would be very
might.
interesting.
I might.
And I think you could probably keep going for a few more hours.
I could. One day I'll tell you about the guy who wanted to shadow me, who wanted to be a home inspector. And he never showed up the second day. I don't know why. Anyway. So.
Well, if you ever hear your inspector say, I've never seen this before, just know Josh probably has, and it probably involved a snake,
Yep.
possibly some illegal substance.
Yeah. Yes.
Where can people connect with you if they want an inspection done?
So I am on Facebook with my personal page. That's Joshua Trotter. Or I also have a business page, Pro Home Inspection Services. Both of those pages has my cell phone number. I also have a website, which is www.trustprohome.com.
Okay.
So,
And I will post a link to that below the video. If you do have him over for an inspection, leave some fresh baked cookies and he might love you just a little bit more.
that's right.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you.